All human mothers and babies, the mother will sing to the baby. It's a cultural universal. Even if that woman is deaf and she's never heard her own voice, she will sing if she has a hearing baby. I think the voice, it is the first musical instrument. It's the only musical instrument that can die. And it is quite extraordinary to think about it. The reason why we can do this thing at all, everything you heard there, is because we walk upright. All other mammals, quadrupeds, need to support their weight on their forelimbs. We don't need to. That's done a lot of things for humans in our evolution. We've got hands. They're amazing. We don't need to walk on them. They develop these extraordinary tools. But hidden away, it's also changed our rib cages. And our rib cages are, if you ever try, don't do this now, someone once flung themselves to my feet to make this point during a talk. Try and, when you're doing a plank or press up, try and talk, and you'll notice how hard it gets, because that's what all other mammals have to do to support their weight. We don't have to do that, and it's freed up our rib cages. So we have as much fine neural control over the muscles between our ribs as we do over our fingers. And what we do that if we control our breath. Now that lets us play musical instruments, it lets us create fire by blowing on things, and it gives us our voices, because it gives us an extent over which we can speak. There was an elephant that learned to talk by putting its trunk in its mouth and breathing, vibrating it on an exhalation. It would say words it had copied for its Malaysian keeper, but it
as you do. True story.
Spoke on each breath. It was absolutely, I don't know why people made a fuss. It was a terrible talk of that elephant. But we don't have to do that. Our voices kind of run free, and it lets us do two very notable things. We actually put rhythm into our voices down there, and that's where we put music in, because we're actually controlling how we vibrate our vocal folds by how we breathe. So
there are no other rhythmic great apes, right?
Nope, you do not find rhythm. And there's a couple of parakeets people get excited about, but I think they've been taught. And also, actually, parakeets are not that. No, well, also, parakeets are very clever, and or cockatoos actually, but they've got not that dissimilar body thing. They are good vocal learners as well, so possibly. But the thing about this is, it seems to have come about via this evolution of our breath control and our making a sound here, has come about separately from the evolutionary stuff that's given us all this lot that means we can talk. So there's an argument that says what came first was the adaptations for breathing, and that doesn't give you language, that gives you music. Yeah. So probably, and by no means am I the first person to suggest this idea's been around for a while, probably what you're looking at is an evolutionary pressure for us to kind of find an advantage of doing this, and then everything pushes in that direction. So we have permanently descended larynxes that give us much longer pipes with which to make the sounds and to actually make this breathing easier. And that's why we can choke. We're the only animal that can choke to death because of this permanently descended larynx. So it's an absolute evolutionary trade-off, and that's how important music probably is for a thing. And it's, again, the role seems to be multiple. We can hear in the womb, we learn from that, we get comfort from it. All human mothers and babies, the mother will sing to the baby. It's a cultural universal. Even if that woman is deaf and she's never heard her own voice, she will sing if she has a hearing baby. So it's that important as a source of comfort. So there's all these different things that seem to feed into long before we get to language and voices in that dimension, which is also important. This very, very basic thing. So it's not just the first musical instrument, it's the first thing probably. The reason why we have any of this vocal ability is that's been the pressure, that's the thing that we like and is beneficial to us. Probably because it gives us a thing we can do together. And it's pleasurable. Humans, and I'll shut up then, human bonding is based on endorphins. And if you look at the things you do when you're with other people, you dance with them, you talk to them, you laugh with them, you drink alcohol with them, you eat food with them, and you sing and dance. All of those are associated with endorphin release. So it's actually very important to human bonding to have this possible thing that we can do.